Apple's launching new Mac stuff. Woo!
Update your Nvidia driver right now.
I'm gonna update to the 9800 X3D right now. I can't, but when it comes out, benchmarks and other things. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're gonna be going over the hottest things to find on the internet. What you enjoy your breakfast this Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. You did it again, Reece. You pulled the layers back on that little hoodie. Anyways, Apple pulling the layers back on what they got coming out for their M4 lineup, and they're gonna be trickling out announcements. First of three this week. They came out with the M4 iMac. So there's a couple enhancements here, a lot of it for Apple Intelligence. That I don't know why AI would be the air quotes, but AI. It's got 16 gigabytes of base RAM, which you would have expected a decade ago.
Yeah.
But now it's here. Congrats, Apple. I'm glad. It's got new colors. You can get a nano texture on the display, which looks very nice if you've ever seen their high-end ProMotion display. Forget what it's called. Yeah. But they're going to have up to 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports. You got a 12 megapixel center stage camera and color-matched accessories that now use USB-C for charging. So that's the Magic Keyboard, the Magic Trackpad, and of course, the Magic Mouse. So, Reece, with this update to the Magic Mouse, do you think Apple changed anything else about the design?
Gee, I sure hope they put the USB in the front.
It's on the bottom still. You gotta flip it over in order to charge it.
So dumb.
Haha, that still exists. But also one of the updates that happened is Apple Intelligence, or at least certain parts of it, rolled out to the various different operating systems. Sequoia 15.1, then iOS 18.1, as well as iPadOS 18.1 are getting that. But the weird thing about it is that while, yeah, you can use it, Siri, all that kind of thing, you still have to request to join the beta.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's out, but it's not actually out yet.
Not to the public unless you request.
And then you have to join a wait list, and after a few hours, allegedly, you'll be able to get in. But their AI, slow rolling, but this is something that, honestly, I appreciate from Apple. To be quite honest, the worst part about it is that all of their ads for the iPhone 16 are about Apple Intelligence, so it's bad marketing. But on a technical side, the way they've developed their LLMs and how they're rolling this out makes way more sense to me. They're more skeptical and not going full sail on it.
Yeah, I'm keen for improvements on Siri, to be fair.
Well, you don't get them because you're in South Africa.
I know.
And in 2025, that's when the EU will get Apple Intelligence. So you're going to wait a lot longer. Do you usually go by EU stuff?
Yeah, typically, yeah.
Okay.
Although they did say South Africa's getting localized English versions of Apple Intelligence. So hooray, we got mentioned.
Like they'll have it in a
Afrikaans accent.
Oh man. Well, I'll make sure to grab one of these Silverstone fans, that's today's video sponsor, and blow Apple Intelligence your way on the other side of the world.
And that brings us to today's sponsor, Silverstone, and their FHS family of server fans, available in 80, 120, and 140 millimeters. What sets Silverstone fans apart from regular desktop PC fans are their maximum speeds and performance ratings. Designed to be used in servers, they are all 38 millimeters thick and built with dual ball bearings, which makes them especially durable in hotter environments. Just check out their airflow and pressure ratings, which would be unbelievable for regular PC fans. The FHS 80X clocks in at 10,000 RPM with a 50.77 millimeter H2O pressure rating, while the FHS 140X boasts 223 CFM of airflow. Of course, these awesome numbers come at the cost of high noise, but Silverstone has equipped them all with PWM so you can slow them down as needed. And while Silverstone server fans may not be for everyone, personally I think the metal blade cover and thicker design have a cool industrial look, they could help solve some of the most difficult cooling tasks you have. Best of all, they're not that expensive either, so they represent some of the best performance per dollar fans you can buy. You can check out Silverstone's FHS lineup of fans via the link in the description, and thanks to Silverstone for sponsoring today's video.
Well, Reece, you could also use some of those Silverstone fans to cool your laptop in case it gets too hot, because we're now finding out the RTX 50 series is going to be coming to laptops at CES next year at the beginning of the year, but big but. Not the kind
Not the kind I like.
Sure, yeah.
I cannot lie.
Sir Mix-er-a-Lot. That broke me. Oh man. No, they're not getting new CPUs. Neither the Lunar Lake chips nor the current AI 300 chips from AMD are going to be featured in these laptops. It's all going to be last generation CPUs. So the 14th gen mobile, as well as the 7040 or 8040 HX series. Maybe they'll call it a 9040 No, it'd be 84.
Interesting. Why?
Because of price, allegedly, I mean, that's what we've heard. Strix Point is insanely expensive. Lunar Lake's supposed to be expensive. I mean, we just recently reviewed the Zephyrus G16 with the Ryzen AI 9 HX370, and this thing is way too expensive. And part of that might be the CPU cost, and they're thinking that probably just better for the gamer if you cut the cost on the CPU side, and it's cheaper overall.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be with an Nvidia GPU, or you are right now, update your driver. There's vulnerabilities, 8 major high severity vulnerabilities. You should go get the new driver. That's a PSA warning. Woo, woo, woo.
Or else I'm gonna get you.
He'll get you. I've seen him get people before. It's not pretty, but now you're gonna have AI gotten on your PC. Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic all announcing that they'll have an AI agent that will work on your system for you. The big news here is that Google's supposed to be developing an artificial intelligence that will take over your web browser and complete tasks such as gathering research, purchasing a product, or booking a flight.
I see why that could be useful. What the heck?
It's going to be called Project Jarvis. It seems like it could be helpful, but I also think that it will take just as long to describe to the AI what you want to do as it would to do it. And I just don't have the faith and the trust that it would do it properly. However, some people have been playing around with Claude and the Anthropic stuff, and they're finding that it can do things. Somebody got it to order DoorDash for them, which Anthropic really does not want you to do because they don't want to have access to all of your accounts and all of that. But they have plenty of things that they're not supposed to do, like create accounts on social media, send messages for you, make purchases. That's at least on Anthropic's side. Looks like Google's going with just let the AI do all of your stuff for you. Tell them that you wanna have a wedding in Bali.
It's completing captures. That's not right.
No, that's one of the things it's not allowed to do. But I saw plenty of examples of people having it complete captchas. Yeah, it's the opposite of how things are supposed to go. But you know how today's supposed to go?
Fresh deals.
Fresh. Did you bake them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right out the oven. Oh.
Serve them.
And hey, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. First up today, a keyboard deal, since people were asking. We have the Hightime XVX K75 Pro 75% wireless hot swappable gasket mount aluminum keyboard, which I think looks gorgeous in this retro colorway.
Okay, I got 2 problems with what just happened.
What?
I wouldn't have read that as high time. I would have read it as Hitami. And then also aluminium, you scrub. You're betraying your own people right now.
No. See, I'm okay with saying it like that if it was written like that in the listing.
Fine, whatever.
I respect it. I don't, but I respect it. It's going for only $62.79, making it $20 off. And then because we also had desk requests, I found this Dowings L-shaped desk with LEDs, a pegboard, and a couple of extras.
What kind of board?
A pegboard.
Huh.
Yeah, it's going for only $135 with included promo code Newegg Plus only, but hey, there's a nice little desk for you. It's not too expensive.
It's got drawers.
Yeah.
It's got little extras.
And then lastly, one of my favorites, the Lenovo Legion Go, which has its 8.8-inch 1440p 144Hz screen, which is complete overkill for a handheld, but this thing is massive. If you're lying in bed and you're playing, it just takes up your entire field of vision, and it's my current favorite handheld for this generation.
You ain't played it with the Steam Deck OLED enough.
Probably, yeah. It's going for only $499.99, making it $200 off for one heck of a Z1 Extreme console.
I already bought the deal. That's such a good deal for
Yeah.
$500. Yeah.
And with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, and you're back to Brad for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Hand me off like a football.
I don't know, how do you throw footballs?
Well, Reece, it turns out if you are unpopular on Instagram, you're getting a bad deal. The CEO of Instagram confirming that they give lower quality resolution to videos that people don't actually engage with a lot. So while this sounds ridiculous, it's actually not that bad because there's different ways that each company does it. So Instagram admitting that if it's a very popular video, they're going to get a higher quality video delivered to the user. Whereas if it's a video that people aren't going to want to watch, then it's going to be served in lower resolution. But this is on a sliding scale rather than just like a binary, you're in 144p or you're in 4K.
Yeah.
It's more just like based on if the video starts taking off again, they'll increase the quality again.
Which is
doing
cool.
all that. It's dynamic management of their loads, the server making sure that everything can get delivered. I mean, YouTube has their way of doing it.
TikTok has a form of it too.
Yes, YouTube caches their videos. If you try to go like watch one of our videos from 7 years ago, it'll take like a good 15-20 seconds for them to grab the video for you because nobody's watched it in however long that it takes them a little bit to dynamically serve it for you.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, but get more views, get better quality. That's why everybody else's stuff looks better. It's a conspiracy
They're better than you.
against the small guy. But let's talk about a victory for the big guy. McDonald's winning big from the U.S. Copyright Office. Ooh. This is actually an endeavor taken on by iFixit and a couple of other companies to make right to repair something that happens with their soft serve ice cream machines. Reece, I don't know if you struggle with this in South Africa.
It's a problem.
So the reason why McDonald's ice cream machines are always known as being out of order is because they can only have them serviced by a specific company because of just the way they've locked down their software. But iFixit has been saying that's nonsense and that they should be able to repair their own machines. And so they started the Free the McFlurry campaign to get third-party repair for McDonald's ice cream machines, as well as other restaurant retail-style appliances that this could apply to. And that has actually happened. The U.S. Copyright Office granting an exemption specifically allowing for repair of retail-level food preparation equipment, including soft-serve ice cream machines similar to those available at McDonald's. It's a big W.
Yeah, no.
iFixit making this happen.
10 out of 10. Thank you.
Whether or not this will mean that there will be more ice cream in the future, who knows?
I want to live in that future.
Well, and maybe it'll happen with more third-party repair going on for that. But we're going to live in the future with the 9800X3D very soon, as long as we can survive. Do you think we can make it?
I hope so.
We'll see
Keeping
what
my
happens.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, we got more details coming out about how the X3D setup is on the CPU, and it turns out that they flipped it. So it used to be that with the 7800X3D, the L3 cache was on top of the 8 cores, the CCD core complex die, but now they've inverted it. So yeah, the 3DV cache is below it, so it's on top. But allegedly this is for better thermals and better performance overall, and that might be what the second generation V cache allegedly is supposed to mean. But now we have more benchmarks coming out on this bad boy. 9800X3D being spotted in various different benchmarks. Up first, Puget Bench, which is being used for various different content creation things, whether it's DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro. These numbers are actually quite respectable, especially when you put them up against other professional CPUs out there. It beats the 7800X3D by quite a bit. It gets very close to the 7950X3D, especially in Premiere Pro, and it kind of gets within the 14900K, but beating the 14700K, which for an X3D meant for gaming chip, that means you can still use it for productivity. It's great.
Good news.
Good news. Convenient. Also 25% better performance in Geekbench scores. We're seeing that 9800X3D beating the 9700X, allegedly because it's going to have 120 watt TDP, which the 9700X doesn't go up to. 5.2 gigahertz boost clock, 8 cores, 16 threads. The entire spec list for the 9800X3D essentially got leaked. It's out there now, so you can possibly see it. Also, we're finding out that retailers have it available. Probably can't get it, but the pricing on it is a little bit more expensive than the 7800X3D was. We still don't know. AMD hasn't announced the official price, but the 9800X3D looking to be about 10% more expensive than the 7800X3D at what the MSRP is, and 26% higher than the 7800X3D was at its lowest price. So a little bit more pricey. I'm kind of anticipating a $499 price point.
It feels like it's going to hit there.
I will be pleasantly surprised if it's $449. But in case you want reviews for this thing, that also got leaked too the day before, November 6th. A full 24 hours,
Whoopsies.
you'll know about it. That's not how Intel does it. Intel does it same day. At least AMD gives you 24 hours for you to find out.
Yeah.
And we gave you a lot of hours to leave comments on Friday's episode of Hot News. So let's go ahead and see what you said. Over on Floatplane, we got little Nikki Scarfo saying, so should we worry about AMD just taking a break now that Intel is not giving them competition? Yes.
No.
Yes.
No elaboration.
You should always be worried about it. I mean, they've shown that they're willing to do it. With the launch of the Ryzen 7000 series, they jacked the price up of the 7600X to $299. Why did they do it? Because they knew that Intel wasn't going to compete with them in that price bracket. So AMD has already shown that they are a publicly traded company, and they will continue to act like one just as much as Intel ever did. They have the same incentives. AMD has not shown that they are willing to do things for their customers that Intel wasn't ever going to do. They're not a benevolent company. They are also, Lisa Su is not bloodless in the amount of shadiness that's gone on in AMD. It's not as bad as Nvidia. It's not as bad as Intel, but it doesn't mean that they're white as snow. They got a little crimson in there, you know what I'm saying? Because Team Red. I thought that was pretty funny. And over on YouTube, we got a bunch of people saying, but user benchmark says, I love how I can still go on a certain CPU comparison site right now and look at its subjectively written reviews where they're absolutely dumping on AMD, saying that X3D is a marketing scam. Reece, do you know about user benchmark? Do you know the problem here?
I know.
Okay.
I'm aware of the lore.
They have like the 245K beating the 7950 X3D
In the
like,
rankings.
Yeah, just because it's newer. Like it's 4% better because it's 100% newer. And then we got X-Ray saying, you guys said to buy the Ryzen 7 7800X3D at $350 about 6 months ago. I was worried when I read that, but then they said, I built the computer with it and I thank you.
It was phrased
Yes.
antagonistically at first.
You
but
told me to do this and it
you
sucked.
did this.
I also bought that. I bought 2 of them at that price. It was such a good deal at
good.
that time. And then Z-Shrink saying, Catlin off screen yelling, what's Ligma? Was the brain rot chaos I needed for this Friday. You got anything for us today?
No, that was no.
She's out. She's out of brain rot. Sorry. And then yes, me 4PK saying we're supposed to get a new Mac. Oh, I'm Mac excited for that. That wasn't an intentional pun, but I'll take it. Actually, Reece, I forgot to say something during this episode. I want you to look at that. You see how that's the wallpaper for the iMac? Mm-hmm. Do you know that it says iMac?
Oh.
That reads iMac. There's an I. You see there's separation there. That's an M. That's an A. There's separation there. And there's a C. There's a separation there. It's a 3D letter.
What the heck?
They say iMac. Oh, I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to bring you more hot news tomorrow, potentially. Are you going to be here?
Yeah.
When do you
maybe.
leave? Oh, you said that so fast.
Maybe.
You might be here. We'll see.
Who can tell?
I hope you could.